Hello everyone, this is GalaxyStar here, back to you with another video. And today, this is the intro video to my Sims 4 Anime Legacy Challenge. The link to download this will be on my Patreon, so if you go there, it'll obviously be on YouTube, but you click my Patreon and it'll just pop up my Patreon and you would just have to download it. But anyways, let's get to it. So this is basically an intro video to the Legacy Challenge. So we have challenge rules, which is the base rules, and then later on, once you get into the generations and stuff, there are specific rules for those gens. But there are main challenge rules, which is you must complete the skills and aspirations. Obviously, it's not going to be too much to handle, specifically with like the rules and other stuff. Nothing too much. Packs that you will need: vampires, spa day, realm of magic, high school years, love struck, get together, cats and dogs, get famous, island living, life and death, businesses and hobbies, seasons, city living, discover university, outdoor retreat, and snowy escape. I did note here that I linked a save file that I downloaded. It's Plumbob Kingdom's save file, and you can do whatever with that. I like this save file, but you have to have all the packs, unfortunately. But you can find one that's like base game related. I might do a base game anime legacy challenge, but more smaller, with like 5 generations instead of 15, because here we have 15 generations. So that's what we're working with. So now that is done, we can move on to the mods that we'll be using. You can use your own Create a Sim mods, but you have to download these gameplay mods in order for these generations to even work properly. Not really work properly, but make the gameplay better, which we have MC Command Center. We got basketball after school activity, which we'll be getting to in a sec. UI cheats is just better because at the start of your first gen, you're going to need some UI cheats to change how much money you have. And we'll get into that later too. Volleyball team school activity. This can be downloaded later. Same with the basketball after school activity. Like, you don't have to download these mods right away, just for later. Evening and weekend sport career, which is basically has all sorts of careers that have to do with basketball, volleyball, all this other stuff. So that will be obviously in here. There will be also a reason why it's tied to a volleyball team. If people know anime and watch anime a lot, they'll probably know what I'm getting at. Same thing with the basketball. And we have our next one, which is the skateboard mod. Basically, you'll need this later too. All like the basketball, volleyball, sport career, and skateboard mod will be towards the end of your generations, so you don't have to download now. And I also have the same file download link in here too. So if you want to download the same file, you can. So we're going to move on to our first generation, which is Black Butler. I really love Black Butler so much, and you have Mr. Sebastian hugging a kitty in this cute little chibi picture right here. So let's get into it. As a kid growing up, your family always had wealth. But what happens when your mother, father, and your twin, doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, if you start off with this gen, it's fine. They die in a car crash and you lost everything except the $3,000 you have in your savings, and you live in a trailer. Basically, when you have base game, you live in the Johnny Zest trailer. While starting over, you meet and move in with a demon. Basically, it's a vampire, and he looks like Sebastian. Try to make a sim that looks like Sebastian as much as possible, and take revenge on your family's deaths. Oh, and you also have a little crush on your demon friend, and you own a cat. All right, so we have colors. So our colors are going to be maroon. We're going to edit that and say dark blue and dark green. Basically, a dark Victorian colors. Think that. Our traits are going to be loner, bookworm, and high maintenance, since CL is very high maintenance. He's in the career business. Doesn't matter which branch you go to. And his or her aspiration will be fabulously wealthy. Your skills that you're going to have to master is violin, writing, and logic skill. And then your rules. You must own a cat. Doesn't matter what kind of cat. It could be a black cat. It could be a tabby. It could be a Mancoon cat. Doesn't matter. You must go on adventures. Basically, visiting any social place in Windenburg. Just for like a couple hours. So, that will be with that. You have to become friends with the Grim Reaper, which is Grim, a witch, and a vampire, not Sebastian, not the vampire you'll be living with. He doesn't count. You must have one vampire kid. After that, your children can be a vampire or human, but your heir must be a vampire. That's why I said must have one vampire kid, because that vampire kid is going to be your heir. And then we're going to move on to Generation 2, Misfit of the Demon King Academy. And there's Anos Boldigoat and his little pack of ragtag of school kids. It says, you're a demon, reborn into this world. You are a demon king. Everyone knows about you. But what if they don't believe you? So you create a team, which is a club. That's why you need get together. A club of followers who are your closest friends, which you have to be friends with them. You also fell in love with one of the members on your team. They must be a witch. I can't express this enough. Your colors are going to be red and black. Your traits are going to be loyal, ambitious, and hot-headed. Your career, self-employed. Your aspiration is a Renaissance sim. Your skills that you have to master is charisma, vampire lore, and entrepreneur. Vampire lore is basically, since he was reborn as a demon king, he has to learn about the past and what has gone on since his first death before he got reborn. entrepreneur, obviously. He's a king. He has to make negotiations with stuff. He has to trade a lot of stuff with his kingdom. It's basically kind of like a royal thing or whatever. It's just something added. Make a club with 5 people in it. Just 5. You must go on an adventure to any vacation rental for 3 days per season. So if you have seasons, or if you don't have seasons, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter, because seasons could be whatever. But I know it says you are supposed to have seasons, but if you do have seasons, or if you don't, it doesn't matter. But anyway, moving on. If you have seasons, you have to go on vacation per season. So summer, winter, fall, spring. Basically 3 days per season. Marry anyone who you want that's in a club, but they must be a witch. You have to have one witch child. The rest can be vampire or witch, but your heir must be a witch. Same thing with the vampire one. It says you must have one witch child. This witch child will be your heir, and there's a reason why. Generation 3, soul leveling. You were the oldest and the black sheep of the family. You weren't like your mother and father, who was outgoing and made friends. You like to sit in your room, crafting new things, fixing them, and playing lots of video games. Your colors are going to be light blue and black. Traits are going to be self-absorbed, geek, and gloomy. Your career, you're going to be self-employed. Your aspiration is nerd brain. Your skills you have to master is fitness, handiness, and programming. Go to dungeons once a week. Basically spooky places like Moonwood Mill, Forgotten Hollow, Glimmerbrook, or Ravenwood. Once you go be in these places, you go in these places for 1 day, and once you're done, you pay yourself 3,000 simoleons. Have as many as children as you want. They can be human or witch, but your heir must be a human. And going into Generation 4. Generation 4, Oran High School Host Club. I needed to add this anime at some point because this was my very first anime that I watched. So it holds a special place into my heart. A lot of these animes hold a special place into my heart. Specifically Oran High School Host Club and Generation 10, which I won't reveal until it comes up. But moving on, as a hopeless romantic in your teens, you love to date anyone, and with your father being wealthy because he goes on a lot of dungeon raids, you went to school that was for high society. When you got older, you decided to make a club called the Host Club, where you went out and entertained and flirted with other women. So, your colors are going to be white and purple. Traits are going to be cheerful, childish, and creative. Your career, you're going to be an entertainer. Your aspirations, soulmate. Your skills are going to be piano, comedy, and romance. You must own a golden retriever, and you must make a club with 7 members, including you. You have to marry a member in that club. Doesn't matter. It has to be the opposite gender, which I'm saying that specifically because there's a reason why for it. And we'll move on later because there's another generation that has to have some specific stuff. But you must have it with a human, so no fantasy characters that we have. So no vampires, no witches, no werewolves, which there aren't any. Your club has to have these 3 socials: be friendly, be romantic, and hug. And like I said, have as many as children as you want. Your heir must be a human though. And then we're going to go on to Generation 5, free. So, you love water. I mean, you love it. You always wanted to own a beach house and wanted to be in the Olympics, but an injury happened while you were a child and your dream didn't come true. So, you decided to open up a pool. But you do marry a sim that loves swimming as much as you do. Basically, I made up the injury happened because there's no Olympic career in The Sims 4, and I didn't want to add more mods onto the game than I already have to. So we're not doing that. So I just created some BS and did this. Your colors are going to be dark and light blue. Your traits are going to be child of the ocean, loner, and gloomy. Your career is small business because you can own a pool with businesses and hobbies. Your aspiration is going to be bodybuilder. Your skills are going to be fitness, cooking, and fishing. And then here comes the silly rules that it's very silly. You must swim in the ocean for at least 1 hour per 3 days. Oddly specific, I know. Must have 7 male children with different hair colors. Or if you have females too, you can obviously change it up with that. But if you have all boys, then this will be easy for you. Just change up the names a little bit. Or you can keep the names because there's a specific reason why, and that will be for the next gen. But the names of your kids are going to have to be Kurko. He has light blue hair. Kagami, red hair. Murasaki Bara, purple. Midorima, green. Almine, dark blue. Kisei, yellow. Akashi, pink. And your heir is Kuroko. Like I said, if anyone watches a lot of anime and is very open-minded with a lot of sports animes, they'll know all these names. Because guess what our next generation is? Kuroko's basketball. Being the lone wolf is hard. But what's harder is that you're almost invisible, socially awkward, and have little to no skill in basketball. You're a shadow and all alone. But you decided to join the basketball club after school. I wrote here, the mod will be in the beginning of the document as I showed you guys. So there's that. Your colors, light blue. Traits, socially awkward. You're a dog lover and you're gloomy. Since there's no basketball career and in this anime, we don't have like a future on what happened to like Kuroko and the rest of the guys. So I'm just pulling out what happened, what Kuroko's personality is and what he would do. Basically, his career is going to own a vet. His aspirations, friends with the animals, because there is an animal in Kuroko's basketball. His name's number 2 because he looks like Kuroko, and it's honestly hilarious. The skills that you must master is fitness, pet training, and parenting. And then here are the on-off rules. Yeah. You must own a Pomsky, play basketball with your children. Basically, if you have city living, you can play basketball, practice basketball with your kids. And own the top vet clinic in town. At least have a 3-star vet clinic. And have as many children as you want. Doesn't matter. Then we're on to Generation 7, Rising of the Shield Hero. Your grandpa was a loner, so why can't you? Being bullied by your brothers and sisters changed you. You weren't athletic like them. You were more like your father, but loving plants more than anything. Your colors are going to be green and yellow. Your traits, socially awkward, lonely, and good. Career, culinary, specifically chef. Aspiration, master chef. Your skills that you have to master is flower arranging, herbalism, and cooking. You must at least, for the rules, you must at least make one excellent dish once per week. And have 2 kids, specifically 2 kids. Don't have any more. Generation 8, Love Stage. It's not a Sims, an anime legacy challenge without yaoi in it. And this was my first yaoi that I have watched. And it is amazing. Not because the character, the voice dub actor for this guy was Hikaru in Ouran High School Host Club. That was totally the reason, not the reason why I watched that. Yeah, it's a lie. That's the reason why I watched it. But anyways, you're creative, but you're also kind of bad at it. You want to make your own manga. Now, kids, we have to imagine that he is creating his own manga. He or she has to create their own manga. Your brother/sister loves music, and you You fall in love with the same person who's the same gender as you? He/she was an upcoming star, but in due time, you'll have kids. If your heir, this generation heir, is a boy, you can adopt, and if you're a girl, you can have a science baby. That's where Get to Work comes in, which I think you'll need, which I will also write in the packs that you need, because I forgot to mention that. Your colors are going to be yellow. Traits: socially awkward, lonely, clumsy. Your career: freelancer. You're going to be in the digital artist career. Your aspiration: painter. Your skills that you have to master: painting, writing, and acting. Make $10,000, not 10,000, $100,000 by selling your paintings, and have 1 kid. 1. And then we're going on to Generation 9, Attack on Titan. You're a hot-headed teen who likes to throw punches at people, but you do it for the good to protect your family and the ones you love. You're like a hero, as long as you don't kill 80% of the population. You also fell in love with a vampire. He/she has black hair and eyes. You either must create Mikasa or Levi, depending on your gender of this generation. Your colors are going to be brown and green. Traits are going to be hot-headed, outgoing, good. Your career: secret agent. Your aspiration: championship rider. Your skills: horse riding, charisma, and logic. Rules: you must master your career. Have 1 girl as your heir and 1 boy named Kaname, who must be a vampire. Hence why I said marry a vampire with black hair and black eyes. Because we're going to move on to Generation 10, which is my second anime that I watched. Not really second anime because I watched Ouran High School Host Club and Vampire Knight at the same time. So basically, they're my first animes that I watch, which is actually kind of it's not traumatizing, but come to think of it, when I first watched Vampire Knight and Zero says, when Yuki says, "Zero, don't, he's my brother," and the way Mia Zero's face looked dumbfounded when that happened. Honestly, this is some whack anime, but I have seen worse. So it's gonna be fine, and we're just gonna roll with it, because guess what? We're not gonna have Kaname and Yuki be together, because that's just wrong, and I know The Sims 4 won't allow it. Anyways, moving on. You have always studied the occult for one reason alone. While as a child, you almost got eaten by a vampire, but a good vampire that saved you. He had white hair and purple eyes. Here it says you must create 0. Your brother Kaname also has been keeping a secret from you. Oh wait, he's a vampire. Who would have known? But anyways, your colors are going to be black, white, and red. Your traits: cheerful, generous, and macabre. Your career is going to be a babysitter or no job, which is actually kind of good for you, because then you don't have to worry about anything. Your aspiration: you must pick either one, the vampire family or master vampire. Doesn't matter. And then the skills that you have to master is pipe organ, vampire lore, or thanatology. Once you become the master vampire, we don't end it here. You just become a master vampire. And since your kids are going to be a vampire anyway, you are gonna go into Generation 11. For a second, I lost my thoughts. Anyway, this is also gonna be like an uncut edited video, because I'm too lazy and I would like to get this up on YouTube. Anyways, continuing. Oh wow, it's going on for 30 minutes. Didn't think that this video would be almost 30 minutes long. Anyway, Generation 11, Demon Slayer. As you grew older, you wanted to kill the bad demons, which are the vampires. You were one, and your brother and sister was one too. So you decided to kill the Demon King, and you and your sibling turned back into humans. Once you reach adult age, you marry the one you love, a demon hunter, basically a vampire hunter. We gotta imagine a vampire hunter. And you have children. Sadly, once you reach the end of adulthood, you pass from an unknown sickness. Your colors are going to be green, orange, blue, and pink. Traits: you're going to be goofball, self-assured, and generous. Career: you have no job. Your job is hunting vampires and killing them, which you can imagine that you did that, or you can actually use the extreme violence mod, which I won't be doing that. I'm just going to pretend that we're going to kill vampires. The skills that you must master is wellness, rock climbing, and parenting, because at the end of the manga, Tanjiro does have children, and he dies. As dark as it sounds, it is true. I looked it up. It's sad, and I don't like being sad. But continuing, you have no job because you have to kill vampires as your job. You can use the extreme violence mod. Once you kill a vampire, you get paid $3,000. For the people who are not going to use 3,000. Use the extreme violence mod. Every 3 days, you get paid $3,000. But they must be a bad vampire for the people who are using the extreme violence mod to kill vampires. Once you reach adulthood, you must turn back into a human. You can use MCC Command Center or cheats, doesn't matter. And once you reach the end of adulthood, you must die. You must kill yourself off. You can have as many children as you want, but you have them after you turn back into a human and you marry your vampire hunter. Anyone, really. We just have to pretend. But they must be a friend, though. And then we're going to move on to Generation 2. Moriarty the Patriot. One of these good animes, too. It's a good anime. You always admired your father doing what's good for people. You always hated evil and snobbish nobility. So you fight against social injustice and equality. Your colors, green and brown. Traits, insider, loyal, and proper. You have no career. Your aspiration, neighborhood confidant. Skills, charisma, research and debate, and writing, because the Moriarty family is a noble, so they have to know about research and debate. You start off with $40,000. You get paid $1,000 per 3 days. Travel to any vacation world for 2 days, basically saying that you fought off nobles, and marry someone with the logic skill. Generation 3. The Apothecary Diaries. And then there's Jinxi and Mao Mao. It's cute. It's cute. When you were little, you always had a thing of collecting stuff and traveling. Like you pretend to make medicine for frogs when you see them everywhere you went. The reason why I specifically said frogs is if you watched this season, there's something happened between Jinxi and Mao Mao, and it's hilarious, and you guys gotta watch the frog episode, we call it. I call it the frog episode. But anyway, your colors are going to be green and blue. Your traits, you're going to be a cat lover, romantically reserved, and a genius. Your career is a scientist. You must get to work. I can't express this enough, and I will add it to the packs that you need. So, because I forgot to do that. But anyway, moving on. Your aspiration, freelance botanist. Skills, herbalism, logic, and gemology. Just basically, she likes to collect stuff and be a hoarder, because that's what she kind of is. What Mao Mao is. Rules. Once you have reached level 10 in herbalism, you must marry a cheerful or childish sim. And this is after you reach level 10 in herbalism. And then after that, have as many children as you want. Doesn't matter what gender. It just basically doesn't matter, because we're moving on to Generation 4. And this is where the volleyball mod comes in. As a child, you were the opposite of your mother/father. You were athletic and into sports. Well, one sport, volleyball. So you joined the after-school volleyball club. So you decided to go off and play ball. Your colors are black and orange. Your traits are neat, active, and good. Your career, volleyball. There is a mod at the beginning of the document that you would have to download in order for that to happen. Your aspiration, bodybuilder. Skills, your fitness, your skills that you have to master will be fitness, wellness, video gaming. Rules, die at the end of the adult age. Have as many children as you want. I don't know why this is specific. I don't know why, but just do it. Oh, I know why. Because our generation 15 escaped the infinity. That's the reason. There's a reason why the generation 14 has to die at adulthood. Because we'll get into it right now. You weren't athletic like your father/mother. You always were interested in snowboarding because your father/mother wanted something different for you. But once your father/mother passed, you dropped snowboarding and moved to Mount Cabarebi and met someone who was really into skateboarding. You gained a skill and went to the underground skate club to compete in skating. I just noticed the grammar wasn't grammaring. But anyway, your colors are going to be light blue. You're going to be socially awkward, loner, and practice makes perfect. Wow, it's going to be hard to make friends and get a date for having these two traits. Anyway, you're going to be in the social media career. Your aspiration, inner peace. Langa is a very peaceful person, and that's what your character is basically based off of. And also, like I said, father and mother's past. That's the reason why your generation 5 sim dies in adulthood. And you could do that by using cheats. Your skills: photography, snowboarding, level 7. I did snowboarding level 7 because your sim basically quit snowboarding. Bowling and bowling. Why bowling? Because it's a friend thing. This anime specifically is about making friends, is about boyhood, just all that other stuff. So I just pulled shit out of my ass basically because there's only 12 episodes in this anime and there's not a lot to go off of, but I did it anyways because I really like it and I wanted to end something good. But anyways, side rules: travel with your friends each time per season. I don't know why I said each time. We're just gonna do per season. Take one picture during that time. Basically, if you're traveling with your friends, you must take a picture wherever you are and any vacation, rental, whatever. And make 4 friends. And have one best friend out of those 4. Every Saturday night, you go out with your 4 friends, and once you have completed everything, you are finished with the Anime Legacy Challenge. Basically, your main challenge rules and your side rules. So, yeah. I didn't think this video would take 40 minutes. I can't believe I talked for said time. I am actually going to get to work right now, because that is what you need. And this is the Anime Legacy Challenge. This is basically a raw video. I'm not going to edit stuff. It's just going to be as is. Nothing too much. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next videos. This is GalaxyStar. Bye. I don't know why I stopped there, but I did. Anyway.